So this originally started off at 11 o'clock this morning, late this morning, early afternoon. We received a call here at the Inland Regional Center, 1400 block of South Waterman, of a shooting. It was quickly apparent that we had what amounted to an active shooter situation. There was a massive law enforcement response that initially was officers from our department that responded, and then very quickly, as word spread through the region, we had a massive mutual aid response from virtually every law enforcement agency in the immediate area, to include the Sheriff's Department, Colton Police Department, Fontana Police Department, the California Highway Patrol, Probation Department, Parole. A number of agencies responded. What we have so far is information that up to 3 people had entered the building and had opened fire on people inside of the building. We do have some preliminary numbers of upwards of 14 people that are dead and upwards of 14 people that are injured. We think those are pretty reliable, but keep in mind those are potentially subject to change. They are preliminary numbers. The 14 that are wounded have been taken to various area hospitals. In addition to the law enforcement response, there was a massive medical aid response from San Bernardino City Fire Department, other area fire departments, as well as the ambulance American Medical Response. As officers initially arrived on scene, they went into the active shooter protocols, the things that we trained for. They immediately entered the building in search of the suspects. Initial information is that the suspects were potentially still inside of the building. It is a massive facility, employs several hundred people, and it's taken a long time to clear the building. In fact, I think we still have assets inside that are completing that clearing process. Information that I think is probably the most reliable at this point is that the suspects have fled, potentially in a dark-colored SUV. We do not have any identification on who those suspects are. We do not know what the motive is for the shooting at this point. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to the sheriff for a couple of comments.
Thank you, Chief. We're working closely with the San Bernardino Police Department in a unified command, as well as our federal partners, to make sure that we have the resources we need to thoroughly investigate this event. Our officers are working hand in hand with members of the San Bernardino Police Department, as well as the other agencies, to search the building as the Chief indicated. That search is still ongoing. We have also, because of the information that the suspects may have fled the area, we have also shut down and locked down the courts and the local city and county buildings in the general area around San Bernardino. We have an increased law enforcement presence at all the high-profile areas, including hospitals. We've been in contact with the school district and their school police chief to take care of the school side of things. We continue to make sure that we do everything we can to keep the public safe. We've been in contact with the Board of Supervisors. They've pledged their full support and the resources that they have to help solve this as well. We will work together to investigate this case once the scene is secure and work hand in hand with the city of San Bernardino as we do in other high-profile events. I'll now have Dave Bowditch, Assistant Director of the FBI, say a few words.
Thank you, Sheriff. The FBI is here with our state and local partners, as well as our partners from the ATF, and we are here to essentially assure that all the wounded are extracted, and ultimately public safety is the #1 goal at this point. And we will work as a law enforcement community to assure that we have done everything we can in our power to find, locate, and apprehend these subjects. At this point, I know one of your questions is going to be, is this a terrorist incident? I will tell you right now, we do not know if this is a terrorist incident. So we start from the beginning, working with all our local partners. We take the presumption that it may be, it may not be, but we will work hand in hand with them from the beginning. If things change, we are here from the get-go, and there is no steps lost as the investigation proceeds.
We learned that the number of wounded has gone up to 17, fatalities still at 14. There is this ongoing situation that we're looking at live. And what's happening now is that these vehicles, these Bearcats, have basically pinned in the car in question. We're told that one suspect is down. All officers are okay, despite the radio traffic that one had been hit. But apparently they're saying they're all okay. We have another report that one suspect is detained, one down. Is Trace Gallagher still with me out there? Trace?
I am. Yeah, Brett, the officer we talked about earlier apparently was hit by a ricochet bullet and apparently will be okay. The scanner traffic said when these Bearcats pulled up that they were going in to check on the, quote, bodies, plural, bodies inside the car. That apparently is what they're doing right now. The other suspect, we can tell you, was still on the run because they continually give the location update of that third suspect who was running away. And at one point they were describing how the suspect was taking off clothing, taking off his camouflage gear and continuing to run. They are now converging on that suspect who was at last check at a church about 3 or 4 blocks away from the scene you're seeing here. The police officer said this was a couple of miles down the road. This is about 1 mile from where the shooting happened earlier at the regional center where the 14 people were shot and killed. And now you can see officers have got that car, the SUV, surrounded. This appears to be in connection, because nobody knocked it down at the press conference, Brett. This appears to be in connection with the earlier shooting. We're waiting to find out from police right now if, in fact, these 2 suspects inside the car have been neutralized.